Hello Tubesters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Quick one. Yeah, sort of quick. It will be quick, I think. Finally finished the Norman Knights, the 28mm Victrix ones. Still on bottle tops because although I say they're finished, they haven't actually been varnished yet. But obviously that's not going to take too long. I'll be done early part of next week and then I shall put them up for sale. Again, contact me in the description of the channel, something like that. I'll have my email address on if you would be interested. What was I going to say? Thoroughly enjoyable these little guys were. I very rarely paint medieval. I have to say it's not a subject that I find massively engaging. I know the medievalists are screaming at the whatever you're watching this on your devices. But no, it's never really done a lot for me. I like early Imperial Rome, so from you can say more of Caesar's takeover to up to around Hadrian's time, but Marcus Aurelius, somewhere around there. I like that type of stuff. I do like the Vikings. I mean, who doesn't like Vikings? It's not always just the military aspect of things with all parts of history. It's often the politics and stuff of not politics is probably the wrong word, but what happens, like the different Vikings splitting off to raid different places, then they were settling, and then all that stuff. I find that quite interesting. Obviously, they're not the only. That's not the only part of history, but I would say so. I've always said early Imperial Rome, big jump. Then we've got the Vikings. And then really, I mean, I'll paint anything, but I don't really get involved in history myself personally until, as I've said to you guys before, really English Civil War, I suppose. And well, it's 30 years war around that time, and then I follow it more or less right up to the present day. Anyway, I'm digressing as always. So they're Victrix, they're plastic. They went together fine. I had wondered if I could pin the shields, and you probably could, and I might do that on any future ones, but they are just super glued. So if you give them a flick, you will find that so if somebody in a fit of rage, if they're not doing too good on your tabletop, don't go flicking the shields, they'll go flying. Super glue's great, but not to shock. I've tried to tart up the bases a bit. I've put them on 30mm bases. Some people don't like that larger base size. I just like it because I can decorate the bases a bit. That's why I go for the bigger bases. I just think if they're going to be single figures, you might as well make the base something. So as I say, we've got a busted up shield on one, which you saw on the last instalment. I've got a banner this time that's been snapped off and been trampled over. Again, you saw before a spare helmet. I didn't have a lot of, because this was just a sprue and I haven't done anything like this before. I hadn't actually got anything in my spares box really to tart, not only to tart the bases up, but you also don't want to overload it. It becomes a bit silly then. And I put a few arrows in places and one in a shield that we'll see in a minute, which I don't think will survive first contact with somebody's fingers, but I had to do it. So, and the obviously you can see there's no transfers. They've all been painted on by me. That's not being big-headed because I'm not very good. It was just a fact of I wasn't going to go to the expense of putting transfers on. And to be honest with you, I don't like the way you have to go on. You have to paint those shields white. Then you have to turn them over. I've done them on some late Roman stuff that I was doing for a sale years ago. I don't like that, but at the same time, simple. There's a couple of simple, not heraldic, but like mythical beasts on these two shields that I did paint on. One last time, one this time. they were fairly simplistic, but if he was going to do something, I'm half interested to get, as I asked a couple of commentators were good enough to say what they thought of the Victrix ancient Greeks, because I did think of trying to try and draw on shield designs on those. Obviously they're a hell of a lot more complicated. But anyway, I'm digressing without even seeing the troops. So let's go down to the bench and take a look. Right, thanks for joining me at the bench, guys. Here we are, our 8 figures. It's taken a while, but obviously I'm doing the Epic and the 28mm Perry Hussars as well. So I just pick them up and put them down as I feel like it. So these were the 8, obviously the original 4 that I showed a couple of weeks ago. We'll quickly go through them very quickly. You've seen them before, but as they're... Well, let's put this down. I don't see if this is... Oh, that's better. Yeah, you are seeing them. Camera lens was at the wrong angle. So fairly plain shield, helmet. Again, you saw this guy before, but I just wanted to obviously put it in context with the rest, as I've just taken some photographs. Again, photographs up at the end. Again, taken with this video camera. It's as rare as video cameras go. It's only a cheap one, hence all the creaking noises and stuff it gives out, which annoys the hell out of me. But as I say, there will be some static graphs. I'll have to put the soft brush over them afterwards. But yeah, again, a few arrows and stuff in places just to give some context. This is one of the ones I've just been doing over the last couple of weeks. There's that banner I was saying. Just put a little cross on there. A couple of arrows. Again, it was just something, you know, you don't have to, obviously. It just puts a bit of stuff on the base. It just makes, I think, him a bit more interesting. Now this guy, I haven't had the full box or bag. I know they do bags quite often. This didn't have any of the shield loops, you know, to put your arm through. So I've not actually put a shield on this guy. You could have done and got away with it, but he didn't have any, so I decided to leave it off in the end. I'm just giving him some white borders, like a white surcoat type of thing over the top. That's Charlie Mack video bombing me. What's he going for us? Oh, he's got the Remembrance Day Memorial up. Nice one, Charlie. He always thinks of others. Nice bloke. Right, Charlie's in the States, so we greatly appreciate that, Charlie. So yeah, this is the second one. I've given him like a wave type, well, not wave effect. It's not the I call it the sawtooth version. If I was doing any more of those, I'd add that in as well. This is just my own thoughts. So I gave it like a wave type effect. Again, I've put some scratches and put some little dots where people have been banging and scraping on the shield. Gave him a painted helmet. Some of the helmets, again, as I've just said to you, I'm not a medievalist, but obviously some would be just because, hey, look at me, I've got a red and white painted metal helmet, or other times it's there to keep the rust off him. I've given him a fresh scratch down the side of his helmet. Somebody's given him a belt on the side of the head. No sword with this guy. I left it off, and I could have put a sword on him, but I just gave him one of them, is it Seaxes? Going from the Saxon times, those very useful knives that they used to carry. Fairly simple base, just stuck a, I'll put 2 arrows in that one. Guy we saw last time, again, my attempt at a mythical beast. And to be fair, I haven't made these up. They are, believe me, I haven't made them up. That is a rough rendition of what I was looking at. So, again, he's got the full issue of kit, so he's obviously fairly wealthy. Another fresh one this time. I've painted a red helmet on him. Put some scratches and stuff. It doesn't show up well under the camera. Again, this is what I'd seen. I'd changed the colour, but it's that type of design. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom of the shield. That is, I put that on and I thought, well, actually it looks like he's got almost like flesh coloured like legs, but they are they're not trousers, are they? Whatever they actually used to wear. But I wanted to give it, like, a lot of it, the red fades into a pink because they're using vegetable dyes a lot. So that's what I decided to use him. I put some little blocks of amaranth red. That's not, I haven't seen that. It's normally lines on white or a different colour, or a few little squiggles. Well, squiggles, it meant something to them, but I hadn't seen blocks. But I didn't. There wasn't enough bandwidth there to really play around with it. So it just adds a bit of colour there, just to show he's got a bit of money. Another one from last time. Again, fairly plain shield. And he's got his quilted gabardine, is it? Quite like him. He's quite a nice pose. And then our last guy, another mythical beast I painted on, again copied from one of the transfer guys' designs, roughly. I've chobbled a bit out the shield just to say someone's taken a hack of it, and I've got obviously a couple more beatings on the shield. Got an arrow, as I say, that does actually stick out. I didn't really think that one through. Should have. What happened was I thought I'd drilled the hole through better than I did, and I'd already painted the shield, and when I tried to push the arrow in, because it's on wire, it wasn't having any, and I thought, oh, if I push much harder, I'm going to flick the damn shield off here. So it's out slightly more than I would have liked, because it probably, I can see somebody knocking that off. But yeah, again, he was a bit hard to do with, to place the head. I think the head was more designed to go facing forward, but because of where the arm was with the shield and the axe, I needed to make him look as if he was, you know, looking just over the top of the shield, ready to give somebody a belt with the axe. So that's it. So there we go. Really enjoyed that little side project. Well, they're projects in the sense of, obviously I paint them to sell, but you know, they're still projects. I put everything into them. I enjoy. That's the things, you know, and this sounds like an advert, but when somebody buys my work, when I'm selling it direct, you're getting, well, I mean, if you're doing commission, you get the bells and whistles, but it depends what you're after and what I've got to fit in with. But these guys, I can just do what I want to do, you know. Hopefully they fit in with somebody, and hopefully they don't, you know, somebody fancies them. I have bills to pay, or we have bills to pay. So there you go. Really enjoyable. Would I recommend Victrix Normans on the one sprue that I've had? Definitely. I've had no breakages of spears, and I've obviously knocked the spears several times, as we always do. This one wasn't broken. The banner that I made into a banner, that was in somebody's hand, and I just broke it off. Decent set of weapons. I decided to go with a fair bit of spears, because obviously, although it looks good in the films, if you're fighting a shield wall, you need something long and proddy to get to the enemy, rather than getting up close, personal with your axe, and then finding that they've either the person you're trying to get at or his neighbour has gone under the shield wall and with a Dane axe or something, I don't know, or a sword, and swiped your ankles off. So you know, these are fine on one-to-one melee, I would have thought, but when you're trying to get into a shield wall, these big long pointy things are probably the better. So I thought I'd give them the majority of those. I say the majority, yeah, just about, I think. So yeah, thoroughly recommended. Shield designs, have a go yourselves. What I normally use, I know these are fairly easy shields, but I use one of these, you know, engineering pens, whatever they call them. You buy them literally cheap as chips from a pound shop, about 5 in a box, or whatever they call them, blister. And once I've painted the base colour on, I go over, without obviously scratching into the paint, I just go lightly over. I usually draw out on a piece of paper first and roughly the size I want, just to see if I can do it, you know, and practice a couple of times. If it looks like I'm screwing up a lot, then I'll just give that design up and I'll try a different one. I don't go overboard with too many mythical beasts and stuff, because this is like, I suppose, again, as if I know, but these are early doors in heraldry, you know, the early, you know, before it, all the knights wanted their own shield designs and all the rest of it. I'm just skeptical, like if every third Norman, say, had a mythical beast or something really fancy on the shield, because it all costs money. Paint costs money in them days, just like it does now. If you can't do it, you've got to pay somebody to do it for you, you know, the design. So I can't see that everybody was walking around with flashy shields. I've probably put a couple more swirls and stuff on. If I had a bigger unit, a lot more plain shields would be in there as well. That's my take on it. Oh, right or wrong, I've no idea. So that's it, guys. Really enjoyed doing these. As I say, what I'm going to do next, no idea. Well, I do. Obviously, we've still got to finish the epic up. The epic unit is, I've almost. I took a couple of painting sessions off to get these over the finishing line. So I've got 2 units of epic to still do. One completely, and one's just getting ready for the flesh and things like that. And then that'll be done more or less. So yeah, not too far from showing you an epic unit. Probably maybe the end of next week, I'm not sure. The hussars are doing, I'm literally doing about 2 a week, and then starting the horses as well, you know, so it's slow progress. I've not been rushing it. It's finished when it's finished. So thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. As I say, I'm wondering, depends if these sell. If they don't sell, it's hardly worth me. I'll still probably get the odd sprues of different stuff in. I would like some more Old West figures, but they would be for my own collection. And I get a lot of people like to look at the Old West figures. Actually, it's just obviously they stop in my own collection, and it's I need to obviously sell stuff to obviously pay for other stuff. So yeah, it'll be something. I'm not sure yet. I definitely will be getting some Victrix Vikings. It's just, I'm just deciding whether I go the whole hog and buy a, whatever much Victrix Vikings cost, 25-30 quid, are they? And not do a whole unit, maybe just do a certain amount. I don't know. I've done, if I was doing these Vikings again, Normans again, I'd probably be putting them on large bases. These were just, they were a sprue, and I thought, well, you know, do them as, they might be handy for line rampant or something for somebody. Right, I'm rambling. I always ramble, it's what I do. Look after yourselves. I'm off to Telford with some of my, well, not with, but hoping to meet up with some of the fellow YouTubers. Telford's a modelling show, not obviously a wargaming show or anything. IPMS Telford, Scale Model World. It's just up the road from me, really. So I'm going to be enjoying a three hours or so up there. Not sure what I'll be coming back with yet, but I'm sure there'll be a post-Telford video coming up at some stage. What else have we got? It's not particularly popular, but I enjoy doing it. So HMS Intrepid. I was looking at another aircraft carrier this morning. The USS Lexington CV2. It's called CV2 because obviously after she sunk, the United States Navy had another Lexington. So CV2. She's going along nicely. Also like to say well done to Rob Rimmer from Rims Models. He did his first live put a video up and was talking over it and interacting with some of the guys that were on there. Sorry Rob, I didn't have a lot of time last night. The wife was out and then she literally came back and I had to down tools and knock off. So yeah, good, well done for that, Mara. It always takes a bit of courage to stand up and do something like that, so well done. And that's it. Look after yourselves. Don't know what I just clicked my fingers for. Hey, anyway, look after yourselves. We'll have some more painted figures up soon, as I say, Epic and Hussars, and I will be perusing eBay and other sellers to see what they've got that I can turn from plastic or metal into little painted individuals. So take care of yourselves. Thanks for stopping by and taking a look, all your kind support, and we'll catch each other very soon on another video.